The first thing that you're going to have to do if you're going to get freedom over anger is to admit that you're angry, number one. And I know that sounds like psychobabble and pedantic and elementary, but really, there are some people I've encountered, even in my own life I've done this. You go up to them and you ask them, hey man, you angry? You mad? No, I'm not mad. I'm not angry. Any moms done this? I'm not mad. I'm hurt, but I'm not mad. I'm hurt. Wes, are you angry? No, I'm not angry. You look angry. Your face is red. You look mad. No, I'm not mad. First thing you got to do is you got to admit that you're angry. And when you admit that you're angry, what you're doing is you're realizing that sometimes anger is pretty sneaky. There are two different kinds of people in the world. There are the people who are visibly angry, and we know those kind of people because when they get angry, you know about it. It's kind of out there. You don't have to look very hard. But then there are the other kind of people who, when they get angry, instead of their anger being explosive, their anger is implosive, and so it all goes inside. And usually these two people marry each other, don't they? And so the one person saying, he's just blowing up, and the other person saying, calm down, honey, it'll be okay. And then when that other person gets upset and he's saying, I know I should be calm and I shouldn't get upset, then the blower-upper spouse is going, you got to get real here. But both people are controlled by anger. And both people it's especially important that the person who is an implosive kind of person, the person who has anger that's underneath and that's hidden, it's kind of like an iceberg. There's just a little bitty tip, but underneath there's all this anger. It's important that those kind of individuals are willing to say, I'm angry, because you don't want to say it. Self-controlled people who don't like other people to think bad about them, internal type people, you've got to admit it. I'm angry. You've got to admit that sometimes anger is hidden. Sometimes anger creeps into your heart and you don't see it coming, and all of a sudden you're upset, you're being critical, you're kind of being mean, you don't know why. Well, admit that you're angry. Besides, if you don't admit it, you're letting the person with whom you're angry, you're letting them control you. You know that, right? The only person who wins when you refuse to admit that you're angry is the person that hurt you. The only person who loses is yourself. And the moment that you begin to admit, I'm angry, that's the moment that you take control back in your life. That's the moment when you say, you're no longer going to have control over me. I'm going to name the anger. I'm going to put a definition on it. I'm going to admit that I'm angry. That's number one. Admit that you're angry. Admit it or be controlled by it. Number two.